All right guys, welcome to the video. Today, we're working to answer the question, what is the best home defense weapon? Is it a handgun, a pistol, an AR platform, a shotgun? We're gonna dive deep, a golf club maybe. We're gonna dive deep into like context, different scenarios, what I do, reasons why behind each platform. The reason why this video is being dropped right now is I've been doing some soul searching on what is the best home defense weapon for me, because I really do think that it is a personalized approach. I think that context, goals, what you value, and your priorities for a home defense weapon. I mean, obviously you want it to put down somebody, but I think if you dive deeper into the reasons why and the reasons behind selecting a home defense firearm, there are a lot of ways that you could really skin that cat. And so I wanted to kind of talk about it, kind of express my thoughts here and my reasons why. I do understand and empathize with the fact that I am a sample size of one, so I do want to kind of shed some light into scenarios in which a certain platform might make sense for a certain end user. So without further ado, let's dive into the sponsors of today's video and the supporters of the channel. First up, we got Packed Shot Timers. If you guys want to take your live fire training to the next level, maybe even dry fire training, you could probably do it with a shot timer as well. There's no other reason, there's no other shot timer, there's no other tool to look for other than a quality shot timer, and I'm looking at the one from Packed. This is their Club Timer 3, and yeah, go ahead, check them out. I don't think that I have a link for them, so just get their stuff, it's great. And you're gonna see me in the future putting this to use in some range scenarios. So really excited to give this one a go. Thank you guys. Thank you Packed for sending this over to me for free. Next up, DK Mags. They are a gun store local to me in Minnesota, but they also have a fantastic online catalog. Really, they have everything you could ever want. Go ahead, check them out online. Their website is linked in the description below. Give them a call, or if you're local, head on in person and let them know I sent you. They're gonna give you a discount off of nearly everything in their store. Great guys. Thank you again for sponsoring the channel and being such a long-term supporter of the channel. Last but not least, Soul Centered Films. Soul spelled like the Korean city. I am a wedding videographer as my side hustle. I'm a videographer primarily, and so YouTube's not my main thing. If you guys are or know of anyone getting married, send them my way. Check out my portfolio down in the description below. I am based in the Minnesota, Wisconsin area, but I'm willing to travel and would love to see if Soul Centered Films would be a good fit for capturing your wedding. All right, with the sponsors out of the way, let's dive into the main content. So first, we're gonna start with the handgun platform because I think I might have the most to say. Actually, I think we'll come to handguns last. I'm gonna set these aside here. First, we'll start with potentially the most underrated and maybe least popular option among the actual like gun guy community. Stereotypically, it might be more common in the FUD community, kind of the pump action kind of deal, but we're talking about the shotgun. For home defense specifically, I'm gonna turn the gun this way. I would really argue that having a semi-auto shotgun is where you should start. We have a clear and safe gun here with some live rounds to kind of demonstrate what I would stage it with. But yeah, when comparing the actual kind of shotgun, the semi-auto versus the pump action, I think you should look at the semi because in high stress environments and confusing scenarios that you have not found yourself in before, you might forget to pump and then you'll get a click instead of a bang, slowing you down, potentially costing you your life. So why not worry about one less thing? I recently made a video comparing some budget shotguns. You can check that out here. Normally with pump action versus semi-auto, it is a cost comparison. Like semi-autos usually start a lot more expensive than pump actions, but there are ways you can make a semi-auto reliable, functionable, and cheap and affordable. If you're going to be looking at a shotgun for home defense, either train a ton, actually, regardless of the tool that you choose, train a ton and pick a semi-auto shotgun. From there, the biggest con is obviously capacity. You can do tube extensions like this one to get you to around 8+1 in the tube. If you can ghost load it, which I don't think you can ghost load the G-Force ones, maybe you're looking at 9+1 in the tube. A match saver gives you 10, a side saddle gives you 7 more, but the reloading sequence is going to take much more time than slapping in a new fresh mag into an AR-15 or a handgun platform. However, the big advantage is your versatility of rounds. You get Buckshot, birdshot, which you probably don't want to use in a home defense scenario. Breaching rounds, which you probably also don't want to use in a home defense scenario. Less than lethal rounds, which you also probably don't want to use. And slugs, which you also probably don't want to use in a home defense scenario. So you got buckshot. Pretty much toss the versatility of the shotgun out the window because you're looking at buckshot for your home defense shotgun, but you can really purpose build and purpose select the loads that you want to run through your shotgun. But buck is extremely brutal. The damage that it does anywhere on the body, especially in a lethal position, it's gonna be pretty messy. It's gonna be pretty nasty. So even though you have fewer rounds, it's gonna likely take fewer rounds to incapacitate an assailant when compared to a rifle platform or especially a handgun platform. When it comes to home defense weapons, I believe that you should have a red dot sighting system as well as a white light capability. And for all of the weapons that I present here, I guess except for one, we are looking at that. So bear that in mind, that is important. To be able to positively identify a threat or non-threat so that you don't end up, killing someone in your family who went downstairs to get a cup of water at 2 in the morning. That would really suck. But also to have a way of quickly acquiring a target and then reliably having a precise sighting picture. Now, I did for a while have this gun next to my bed, and I think that out of all the options here, this is pretty freaking sweet. This is awesome. The shotgun is my second go-to home defense gun. It's the gun that I would fight my way to, just because of the compact space that I live in. So tight corridors and not on land, so I'm not really looking at distance shooting when it comes to a home defense scenario. So knowing that the shotgun excels in close quarters combat, kind of hard pointing to my family, getting everyone in the same spot, and then being able to absolutely, destroy with this gun. This is a very appealing option for me. However, I don't want the gun unsecured, just laying next to my bed in case maintenance comes in because we rent, or in case people are staying here. We have babysitters for our infant daughter, and eventually our infant daughter will no longer be an infant. So I want to treat firearms as if I have a functioning human child in the house to kind of prepare myself for that stage. So this gun no longer sits raw dogging it next to the bed, unfortunately. It does reside in the safe in the master bedroom, in the walk-in closet, and we can kind of talk about my plan a little bit later on in the video. Let's move on to the next platform, which is the AR-15. Now this one's chambered in 300 blackout, excelling in kind of some close quarters scenarios. But it is a multi-purpose weapon. It is a hunting platform. It is a close quarters shooting platform. It is a, hopefully one day, night vision platform, and potentially a very versatile platform with the option to run supersonic bullets to maximize my terminal ballistics out of it, or subsonic bullets to have a really dialed back noise profile. So the great thing about 300 blackout with the option to run subsonic ammo is that there are some very impressive expanding subsonic rounds that will open up and do some fun inside of a target at slower and lower velocities. And having a pedal out slug traveling at a slower speed will most likely mean less pass through, less penetration through multiple layers of drywall, which is ideal in a kind of carriage home style place that we live in. So if you're in an urban environment, if you're in an apartment, if you're in even a home where you have multiple people living in your home, kids, family members, prioritizing around that maximizes ballistics while minimizing penetration could be beneficial for you. So something like the Lehigh Defense or even the Callaway Ballistics bore axe bullet, that could be something to look into in that scenario if you do want to run it out of an AR-15 platform chambered in 300 blackout. So for the AR-15 platform, obviously you can tell that this gun is suppressed, as well as having a short barrel. This is a 10.3 inch barrel. I will do a deeper dive on the actual gun build of this one, but that's not today's video. So I think 300 blackout might be a great way to go for home defense, as opposed to having a short barreled 5.56 gun. That round is still screaming out of the barrel at, 2,000, I don't know, man, 400 feet per second, give or take depending on the barrel length you go with, which means it's going to absolutely zip through drywall layers, which might not be ideal for where you are. If you are in a home where, okay, distance is a thing, maybe going supersonic with a intermediate rifle cartridge could be the answer. But I don't live rural, and I don't know, I feel like most people probably don't. That might be a hot take, but just base your platform decision, your cartridge decision especially, off of kind of the context in which you would imagine yourself having to take a shot at a home intruder in the night. That's a great way to kind of frame the reference point for how you select a home defense weapon, and then kind of within there, how you select how you want to kit out your home defense weapon. So I do keep this gun in the safe with 20 round mag loaded with the Lehigh 194 grain maximum expansion rounds. So those are subsonics. So I do have options in the safe waiting for me. I think the AR-15 platform is a fantastic choice for home defense, especially if versatility is key. Like, I think if you can only have 2 guns, you should have a kind of compact, concealable, but also option to duty carry handgun, kind of Glock 19 style, Springfield Echelon 4.0C style. But also I think you should have a 5.56 AR-15. And if you don't have kids, if you don't need to worry as much about locking up a gun, I think that AR-15 could serve as a fantastic home defense option. Start with 5.56 in your arsenal, even though I don't currently own a 5.56 gun, and then potentially branch out to calibers such as 300 Blackout, 6.5 Grendel, whatever you want to do from there, the ARC cartridges. Just note that if you do use a suppressor, if you do use a short barrel rifle, which this is not, this is a pistol, a short barrel rifle I think will tack on 10 years federally to a sentence, and then a suppressor will tack on 30 years federally to a sentence. I'm not a lawyer, so that might be, like, my verbiage might be off, but that's my current understanding of it, so please correct me in the comment section down below if that's incorrect. But yeah, just beware of like what tools you use are going to potentially implicate you legally if you're not found to have been legally justified in a self-defense setting by a jury. And last but absolutely not least, we have the pistol, the handgun platform. And I'm just gonna spoil it right off the bat. This is what I have opted for very practical reasons, and I'll go into that. So obviously I alluded to the fact that I have a young daughter and our family is potentially, hopefully growing in the future. And I want to kind of click and lock into the responsible gun owner just right off the bat. I don't want to have guns lying around. I don't want them sitting next to my bed unlocked with rounds, live rounds there, ready to rack into the chamber and get to business. So I'm trying to kind of implement a safe plan for our family. Currently, as it sits, I have 3 handgun safes, 2 in the downstairs, kind of open concept main area, as well as 1 upstairs right next to my bed. Now for me, obviously I have the luxury of owning a handful of firearms. I have a wide-ish selection of what guns to choose. But if you are someone who only has 1 gun and you bought a carry gun, that is something that absolutely could be used for home defense. It's not gonna be as optimal as a full-size handgun that is like absolutely built for recoil mitigation. However, if you have something like this P365 build that I have in front of me, and don't worry, we're gonna do a video on what this gun is, so stick around, subscribe for that if you're interested. But having a concealed carry gun to optimize carry, and then, you know, when you get home at night, you can set it by your bed, you can put it in a safe next to your bed, on the nightstand perhaps. I think that's a very solid option to do, because having a carry gun is absolutely more useful than having a bat or a golf club, something next to or an airsoft gun next to your bed. Just know that it's going to be less controllable under recoil. It'll be potentially a little more finicky to find the red dot. You're gonna have less rounds, it might be louder since there's a shorter barrel, all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be a less optimal experience within the handgun platform arena. So that is why my home defense gun, my primary home defense gun, that I'm gonna start with, the appetizer, is, drumroll please, my Springfield Prodigy 4.25 inch. This gun's fantastic. I absolutely love it. The way that it's kitted out, I have a weapon light on it, obviously, the TLR1 HLX. So it's got decent lumens, decent candela. I have a red dot optic on there, the Siley Bear, so that it's an enclosed emitter. That's not necessary for home defense. I mean, inside your house, you're not going to be in rain, mud, snow, dirt, ideally. Otherwise, you got a really weird house going on. So just a red dot optic on your platform there would be great. I do have a port on the gun, which, or I guess you could call it a compensator because it's not rifled, which a lot of people could go without. A lot of people are like, hey, that's gonna make it a lot louder. It's gonna increase the concussion that you get from shooting it inside especially. And so I can totally empathize with that, but I have fired guns without ear pro, and it is disorienting, but like it's kind of fine, so I'm not really too concerned about that. If I can really control the rounds I'm sending down range in a less controllable platform, which is a handgun, because you don't have 3 points of contact like you do with a rifle. Another con that we've addressed in previous platforms is the round capacity, which I have tried to mitigate as much as reasonably possible with a 20 round stick containing hollow point ammunition. The gun is clear and safe. As shown here, I do have kind of hockey tape on the grip to pin the safety, as well as just give me a consistent feeling when and texture when I pick up the gun. And then I've got a mag well here to assist in reloads if that is necessary. I do keep a spare mag inside of the handgun safe, but ideally I would use the handgun to buy me time, to give me some space to work my way over to the walk-in closet to get the shotgun. I guess first, I suppose, I would get the handgun, get to my daughter, because her room is in a separate room detached from the wife and our like master bedroom, but I guess that term is racist now, so the primary bedroom. I would absolutely want to prioritize getting a tool that can defend, and then getting my family together, and then getting a more optimized tool from there. And then likely hard pointing with the family off to deal with an issue if one arises. And if I do need to clear out, I know that the family is in a position that can only be accessed from the path that I'm taking. So that's kind of my setup. That's kind of my train of thought in regards to how I want to approach the home defense weapon conversation. So let me know if I'm wrong. I'm sure I am in some ways, but I think that's probably the optimal way for me to skin that cat. And for you guys, if you're single, if you live by yourself, or if you just have a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, hopefully you don't have a boy. I'm sure it's going to and could and probably should look different for you in terms of what you're gonna reach for first, where you're gonna reach for it, and kind of your setup that you guys have. We'd love to know what you guys are doing. You can put that down in the comment section below. It's freezing in this garage because right now it is 1 degree out, so I'm gonna run inside. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video was helpful for you. I really just wanna make sure that you guys feel equipped to choose a home defense weapon and know that there are pros and cons to every single platform. So make your decision accordingly. Stay safe out there. God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.